get physical. It's time to talk some this and more. We gonna talk about it all. DVD, CD, UHD, VHS, books, Blu-ray. Who knows, maybe you'll even see a laser disc today. Let's get physical. We wanna talk some physical media. Movies and TV, music and more. Come check out what we have in store. This is the media house stream. It's time for some physical media on FanZcene.
I know it was like really popular because it like won some Oscars and whatever, but
Jimmy does that.
It's got the Mighty Ducks guy. Got that guy.
No! Yes, but no! He's not the Mighty Ducks guy! It's Emilio Estevez! We're the Emilio!
You can never have enough physical media.
Well, hello, fellow followers. Welcome back to the Physical Media Show here on FanZcene. Glad to have you in the chat tonight and out there at home watching. And welcome to my co-host, Rook and Tom. How you guys doing?
Hello. I'm Mo. I'm Curly. I'm Larry. Oh, a wise guy, eh? Why, certainly. Why, you numbskull? I'm a victim of circumstance. Leave him alone. I think our genius ain't appreciated here.
Welcome to prime time, bitches.
Oh boy, that might be.
Oh yeah, it's not what I brought on tonight, but oh baby.
Oh, you get it? The big Blu-ray set that they come up with.
Considering it's like $80 more now, yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Man, that is awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yes, and it makes noises.
Oh, great! It's
That's
the best.
what that was.
That's from the Blu-ray, the set?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm Mo. I'm Curly. I'm Larry. Oh, a wise guy, eh?
Yeah.
I love that. I love when they used to do that with like cases and stuff where you could press buttons on them and like the light up and the sounds.
I just walked by it and I
That's awesome.
I just want to hear it.
I don't blame you.
Nothing makes you smile like the Three Stooges. I don't give a shit.
Oh, I watched it. Like they played here on Saturdays on the local channel. I watch it all the fucking time.
Well, like, and then I saw somebody earlier post something like, any guy who thinks that Deadpool and Wolverine is funny is sus or whatever. And it says a lot about them and da 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 da. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Grown men find farts funny until the day they die. They can be on their deathbed going, and you're
South Park's logic, Trey and Matt's logic is like farts are like always comedy gold. Like,
they're always fun. Men, look, the same things that made us laugh as little boys will make us laugh as adults, grandpas, you name it. Why? 100%. That's just the way we are.
It's how we're built, people.
It's how we're built. And I'm sorry, I don't trust a man who doesn't think that Wolverine and Deadpool was funny as shit.
Oh, that's why we don't trust Rook.
Exactly. Super sus.
Oh, I love the Tristas though, but I'm 100% agree.
I did watch a few episodes. I haven't got a chance to really dive into it, but I wanted to bring it on because, or at least to kind of just praise it because it looks great. And yes, they don't have every single short in here, but there's pretty much every Curly shorts in here, like 20 of the other Shemp and Curly Joe shorts. There's a bunch of other goodies and extras. They even have the 2000 TV movie.
Oh, really?
In HD finally for the first time too. So yeah, nice. That's even a bonus. There's a bunch of other bonus stuff in there too that I don't even know if it was ever even on the old box set, but because I remember I had to buy a separate set that had that in it, and it was like a really crappy DVD of it. But yeah.
Well, that's cool. I like that. That's awesome.
So yeah, if you didn't get it right away, you'll have to wait till it goes back down in price. It's over $200 some now. But
yeah, I'm probably gonna have to wait then.
Yeah.
But on that note, let's say to the chat and let's see what they're doing.
And you're welcome, Dragonzilla, for the recommendation.
There you go. We have Ace Hanlon. Glad to have you with us. No, I did not see Alien Romulus, and I would probably not like it one bit, to be honest with you. So, yeah. Sorry. And Olav in a bite, glad to have you with us. And yes, thank you for it is my channel's birthday. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Happy birthday to your channel.
Thank you. Yes, Random Brad, I don't think you'd
It's
like
kind of
it
weird
either.
because I think today is the first day I ever did a live stream on Midnight's Edge After Dark too. That came up on like my timeline, I think. Yeah.
That's funny. I didn't even know until I went into my dashboard on my channel today when I was setting up the stream and it said it's your channel's birthday. And I'm like, huh, cool. I didn't know that. I forgot about it. But thank you too as well, Random Brad. Star Trek Enterprise, Faith of the Heart. I appreciate that. Thank you. And thank you, Style Section. I appreciate it. This makes me feel good. My favorite YouTube channel. Thank you, Dragonzilla. I appreciate that. Thank you. And glad to have you with us, everybody. And Cowbunga Dude, what's up to you as always? And salute Steven, deleted scenes. Yes, like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget, you know, they got some cool emojis there. So, yes, there they have the rock and roll. And what's up, Tyrell72? Good evening to you. Live long and prosper. Hell, Brian Barth, glad to have you with us. What do you think of Shemp and the other Joe?
Huh?
Shemp is okay. I'm not a big fan of Curly Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah. he kind of seems like a closet homosexual. Just gonna say it. No, that's not why I don't like him. He just didn't seem to fit. Shemp's fine.
Yeah, Shemp's
the only problem I have with some of the Shemp ones is when they started redoing the old ones with Shemp and Curly's, like they basically remade the old.
Yeah, but just with Shemp.
Yeah, with just Shemp instead of Curly, and I did not like that.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
And I hope those are the ones they left off this set. That would be. I think most fans would probably be fine with that.
Honestly. Yeah. What's up,
but
Doug,
out of the
mate?
200 and some, they've got like 120 or 130, maybe a few more.
Wow.
So like close. I mean, they're missing quite a few, but I have the old DVD set too, but I don't know if the rest of those will ever be carried over. So I have no idea.
Well, I guess it's a good thing to keep your DVD set then too.
They might do a volume 2, but I mean, it would be probably most of the crap that nobody really wants.
Yeah, the stuff that they left off that nobody.
Like I said, yeah. I'm pretty sure like the 100 that they have, like the main ones, are mostly like the Curly, because Curly was only in like 100 or like 90 some. Then Shemp came in for like 30 or so, and then 30, 40 or something like that. And then Curly Joe, I think, was the rest. Yeah. But they have some of the short films and stuff that came later and stuff too that I'd never even seen before, like some of the color short films and stuff from the 50s.
Nice. Cool. What's up, Doug Nation? He said he picked up The Departed on 4K and American Hustle on 4K. Nice. Glad to hear it. And we have Ayev No Dick. Nice name. Your farts are funny until she farts in the car and you throw up in your lap because it still fouls. We still laugh. We're laughing now.
Yeah, because you may not laugh at that moment, but you'll just sit there laughing later on, and you go, "Remember that time you farted so bad you made me puke?" And she's like, "Would you shut the fuck up?" Because it's at your family dinner. Yeah. But
because that's when you remember it, and you start laughing the most. It's the awkward.
That's the kind of shit that guys fucking laugh about. Like, I farted so hard I made him puke. It's like, yeah, you did.
This is my mom's wedding. Stop it.
Yeah, this is my mom's wedding. You're ruining it.
Oh, it's hilarious. What's up, Corley Rowe? Glad to have you with us as well, too. Hell, Anthony Draven to you. Howdy, Doba Fett. Glad to have you with us as well. Tim Hayes. Evening, my friend. And it's a trap production. Glad to have you in the chat with us this evening. Appreciate that, man. I'm glad you can be here.
Don't believe me, it's a trap.
It's a trap. And I believe we're all cut up. And thank you all, everybody out there in chat, everybody at home watching. What do we have on tap for new releases?
Well, we just got an announcement just before the show, actually. I don't know if you saw that. Bill Hunt of the Digital Bits teased that we should be getting sometime in the next year Tron and Tron Legacy, possibly Tron Legacy, but definitely Tron, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea in the Black Hole in 4K. So we may be getting a kind of early idea of what some of the first Sony 4K releases will be out of them. Although I don't think Sony has anything to do with the mastering or anything like that. We brought that up before.
Yeah.
But
seems like they're like pressing them
They
or
just
whatever.
taking care of the distribution aspect or whatever. And then otherwise we got the Lionsgate. Lionsgate is going to be releasing The Conversation with Gene Hackman, which I already have the import of from Studio Canal, which came out in a nice box set here recently. But that should be getting a release later this year. I would assume just same exact scan as always. Lionsgate just kind of re-releases whatever Studio Canal does overseas.
Yeah.
SpongeBob movie will be getting a standard release on the 12th of November. We Were Soldiers is coming in November in 4K. Horizon finally had the Chapter 2. Oh, this is kind of weird. So Chapter 2 popped up on Target website, then it disappeared, I think. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be coming before too long. The first film comes like the next couple weeks here, I think, on disc.
So I wonder if they'll release it at the same time it goes streaming or something.
Well, yeah, because the first one's on video on demand, and I think HBO Max is going to be showing the first film later this year. And I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they don't premiere the second part on HBO Max, maybe. I have no idea yet. We'll see how that works out. He still hasn't finished part 3 and 4. We don't have any definitive date on 2 anymore since they pulled it. It's supposed to be out last week. But Dumb and Dumber was also announced, or not announced, but a rumor, I believe. No date yet on that, but hopefully it's the PG-13 cut.
Yeah.
We got the November releases for Criterion. A couple are no surprises, but welcome ones. We got Seven Samurai, Godzilla, Shape of Water, Paul Muni, Scarface, and Funny Girl. I'm not sure. So I think Godzilla and Seven Samurai and Funny Girl are 4K. I don't know about the rest.
Right.
Because I don't think Scarface is. Shape of Water might be, and I'm not 100% on Paper Moon either. So, somebody knows for sure, let me know. But I know for sure Godzilla, Seven Samurai, and Funny Girl are getting 4K.
Yep.
And then we got, let's see here. Well, we did we talk about last week how we got the rumor about Nightmare on Elm Street? The rest of the films?
Yes. With the...
And we did get a trailer this week for the 4K release as well.
And it's just going to be 8 seconds. Like you said, it's mostly the blood and gore that was cut out. So,
and we'll probably talk a little bit more about that later. So. The Third Man is getting a Lionsgate 4K release in 2025. Kind of excited about that one. I haven't seen that one yet. Friday Night Lights, which I think we announced last week.
Yeah, I think we did.
So I think we're caught up on those. So unless there was anything else I missed, I think that was pretty much everything.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I see coming October 15th as then Captain Planet and the Planeteers entire series is coming.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was a DVD. Yep.
But other than that, I think you got it all.
Breakdown is supposed to be getting a release on 4K in October. It has been released before, but I think it was a limited release. Or
now these releases of that and Friday the 13th Part 2 are UK releases.
Okay, so that was the other thing too. So those are ones that are in that box set, right?
Because
I'll be honest with you, like for the price it would cost you to probably import 1 or 2 of those Blu-rays, you might as well just buy that box set. I think because it's only priced at like 40 something right now. It's not as bad as the first one was. Wizard of Oz is also getting a re-release. It's the same disc, just new swag. I don't think there was really anything else.
I think that was about it, yeah.
As far as the major stuff that...
Yeah.
I mean, we had Indicators releasing Stir Crazy, See No Evil, Hear No Evil, and Another You in a box set, which is kind of weird. Considering I was talking about that, a month ago?
Yeah, I know that was weird because you brought that on, and I was like, I haven't seen it forever. Now it's Indicators.
Well, because I'm like, why haven't they put these 3 together? Their main, 3.
Yeah.
But so that's what they're doing here, and they're actually getting a few special features. Nothing major, but I don't think it's a new scan or anything like that. I think it's the same.
Isn't Indicator region free usually?
I think so. Kino Lorber announced Fluke. I'm not sure if we brought that one up before.
Oh no, I don't think you did.
That was an old favorite of Roger Ebert's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's most of the main news, if I'm not mistaken. Looks like it. All right.
All right. There you guys go. If there's anything out there that stood out to you guys, there you go. I hope you hear something you like. All right. How do we want to do this? Rook, do you want to talk about your first movie first before we
maybe one of you guys, because don't you have like 2 extra ones that aren't Nightmare on Elm Street?
Yeah, I have 2 and Tom has 2. So
yeah, you guys, I'll go last on this one.
All right, well, we'll start with you, Tom.
Well, let's see here. Well, the Toxic Tuesday this week, we watched Hateful 8. So
Nice.
I watched this, and I watched the extended cut. Great film. If you haven't seen it yet, I think I brought it on before, so we don't need to dwell on it forever.
Yeah, once before, but
yeah, just great dialogue. Oh, and I like this case because it has like this opening thing here.
oh yeah.
But definitely needs a 4K release.
I'm really surprised we haven't got that one.
Yeah, funnily enough, because the 4K version of it has leaked online. Not the extended cut, sadly, but just the regular theatrical cut for some reason. But no, if you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend it. It's one of my favorite Tarantino movies. Just love the dialogue. The story's great. It's kind of like The Thing meets Reservoir Dogs meets Hitchcock. Great movie. Kind of overlooked and or, in my opinion, gets the shaft quite a bit. So I don't know if you guys have seen it or not.
I've seen it. I surprisingly, shockingly have seen it.
What? And you liked it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice and
I
good.
can't believe. Yeah, and like he talked about it, it's
Fucking knew it. Oh.
Oh, Walter Goggins is so cool. Yeah, he even uses the score from it, leftover score from The Thing that was made. What's that guy's name? Henry. What is
Ennio
that?
Morricone.
Yeah, Ennio Morricone, who did the score for The Thing. Quentin Tarantino got music that was left over from that for this movie. So
Yeah, he wrote him a couple themes, but he was like, he just didn't, between his health and other reasons, he couldn't do an entire score, but he said, I had some stuff left over from The Thing. He does use a few pieces directly from The Thing, but otherwise, yeah, it's unused material from Ennio. So it's actually the only Tarantino film to have a score.
yeah, and not music like all the other ones.
Yeah. Well, and he pulled score music before, but it was usually like Ennio Morricone music.
Yeah.
So like because he even has I think even uses a piece from Exorcist 2 in this, actually.
Oh, really?
Theme. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice that one, but I haven't seen The Exorcist 2 in a long time. So
Yeah, and I mean, he pulls mostly stuff from Ennio, but he's pulled other people's stuff. Probably the most variety would have been in Kill Bill, if I remember right. But I mean, I even like it better in Django as far as his westerns go. I know most people are quick to praise that one, but
yeah, I think I like this more than Django.
well, that was somebody's question in the chat. Is it better than Barry Barth? Was it better than Jing? Well, there you go. And
I agree.
There is no extended cut of the Blu-ray, right? Nope.
Not yet.
Yeah. And
I wouldn't expect it anytime soon because it's a Netflix exclusive miniseries version.
Yeah. I hate that. I hate that.
The extended cut is great. I love the extended cut. Now, I can't really sit here and say there's a truckload of anything in that version that you need to see that you're missing.
No, but it's just nice. It's just like it's just more of the movie, and it's nice to see it. So
yeah, there's like one major sequence, probably a couple other minor sequences, and then just extensions more than anything. If that helps. But yeah, it's about half hour longer, give or take, roughly. The other version, which I prefer that version. I did watch this is the first time I've watched the theatrical cut in probably like 5 years.
I've not seen the theatrical cut. No idea.
You've never seen it? Okay. Yeah, I mean
the theatrical.
I honestly wonder if you'd even be able to go back and watch it that way
Well, it's like I'd honestly rather just rewatch the extended. Like I only saw
Yeah.
it once, and it's one of those ones that I kind of I kind of want to see it again, and because I know how it ends now, and I don't know, it's one of those ones you kind of want to you rewatch it, and it might be different-ish, like a different feel or different vibe second time you watch it.
That was a beautiful day.
Kurt Russell kicks ass as always. So,
Of course.
awesome.
Yeah, and it's a great film. If you haven't seen it, I do recommend it highly.
I know some people get bogged down because it's just all dialogue. Well, I mean that's Tarantino, man.
Well, it's like it's tense dialogue. It's I feel like a lot of people don't conflate like drama or like feeling intense often with dialogue. But I mean, Inglourious Basterds scene where they're just talking to each other, that's like that could be more tense than watching an action scene that is just like gobbledygook of mess. You know, like a good dialogue scene can make you feel different than like a freaking action scene or something. Like, oh look, is it better now because they like are moving around more? They're not talking and punching each other now or something. Like what would be benefited by having less dialogue here? I mean, I guess you could have less dialogue and still have it be good with like framing and what they're doing without it being like an action based thing. But I feel like that's what they kind of did. Like when he's trying to get coffee and stuff, he's just looking at how people are responding, just watching them. He's trying to fill it up. Like, what? It's not filled up yet. It's like shit. You know what? Like the way I don't know. Like that's doing a lot, even if there's the people say nothing's happening. I don't know.
I mean,
it's rare that you get a Western that's pretty much in one setting through the whole thing mostly, and
when it's like a snow setting, it's not a desert.
Well, they're snowed in. That's the whole point. But like,
yeah.
But and as Doba Fett says, there is technically two different theatrical cuts. But I mean, really, there's the DP cut, which is the digital interpositive cut or digital projected cut, and then there's the 70mm cut, which is literally like one scene, I think, that is in the extended cut, and it's the chicken plucking scene, basically. From my memory. So have you seen the extended cut, Greg, or have you only seen?
No, I haven't watched the extended cut.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like you see it in the theatrical cut where Mexican Bob's just plucking a chicken in the background.
Mm-hmm.
But right before that, like Kurt Russell's, I can't remember what he's pissed about, but he gets all pissed off about something, and then he's like walking through the room, and then he sees the half plucked chicken laying on the counter, and he's like, "What the hell is this?" And Mexican Bob's like, "It's a chicken." It's like, "Why is it half plucked? That's bad luck. That's the last goddamn thing we need when we're trapped up here on a mountain." "Well, you guys showed up when I was in the middle of plucking it, and I didn't get to finish." "Well, you're not doing anything now. Finish plucking the goddamn chicken."
He just orders the Mexican guy around the whole time he's there.
So that's like one of the bigger scenes of the thing, and then you get like a scene of Daisy taking a piss and some other stuff. But it's like just
plot
little
relevant
things.
Yes.
But what it's not so much plot relevant as it's world building stuff, right? Because that's what we were talking about last night too on the Toxic Tuesdays. How this is one of those few westerns where I think Tarantino did a really good job of showing you just how hard it was to live in this era, because it's stuff that most westerns just kind of overlook.
Wait, like them going to the outhouse.
Well, just everything. It's hard fucking living, right? I mean, it's every little thing. It feels like it's a real thing, even though the movie itself is like operatic, annoying. Yeah.
You got to exert a lot of energy just to go do a simple task.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that just, I mean, the between life, just one little slip between life and death. I mean, you cut yourself the wrong way, especially being trapped on a mountain for that long. You get gangrene or something like that. You could die or lose a limb. I mean, there's just little things like that. Like you said, the outhouse, dealing with the storm, all sorts of little things that you really don't think about. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there is a sense of realism, which is great. So at least you have that in it to help.
It's just something to me that's an authenticity that I feel like most Westerns overlook.
Yes.
I feel like a lot of movies would be worried that there's not enough going on. They'd be like, "Well, where's like a breakage of action or something? Where's a scene that we can go up and down on?" And I feel like they do that. They achieve that same thing with dialogue, though. Like a more chill moment compared to a more tense moment. Like that's what like a good dialogue driven story does when you're in a room. I'd say.
Brian Barth wants to know why call it the Hateful Eight when there's 10 people in the cabin.
Shut up.
Because Hateful Eight sounds better.
Yeah,
the
Hateful
Twinkie. There's nothing really that rhymes with 10. That's like a good description word of anything. So yeah, Hateful Eight.
only 8 of them were hateful. The other 2 were nice.
Sure.
So.
They're pure.
Well, and it's kind of funny you say that because once you lose Kurt Russell, yeah, it's kind of a you get left with the 2 most unlikeliest of characters to work together, right? Like that's
which I literally was not expecting that when I watched
right.
it. No,
and we were talking about it last night. It's like, now this is how you do not so much messaging, but you have underlying things in your story that he did do similarly in Django, and he got, praise for, but that's because it's so much more surface level with the slavery aspect and all that kind of shit. In this movie, if you think about it, there's this whole kind of redemption arc for Mannix where he basically goes from being a racist in the beginning of the movie to not being a racist anymore by the end. It's real subtle if you're not paying attention. And we were talking about it last night. I'm like, the significance is in the Lincoln letter, right? Like the Lincoln letter is the whole point of that character arc for him, because in the beginning part of it, he's like, this guy's got a Lincoln letter. Psh, I'd piss on it if he had a Lincoln letter, right? Like, because that's the way he looked at it. That's, but then by the end of the film, him going, hey, can I read that Lincoln letter? And then, him reading it and them having that little moment is basically to signify that Mannix has now had a change of heart, even if it's in the last moments of his life or last day of his life, depending on, because I mean, he's got a 50-50-ish shot of surviving maybe, but there ain't no way Samuel L. Jackson's gonna at the end of the film. But even if he survives, I mean, he'll probably lose his leg. So he knows he's not going to be sure.
And in the Old West, them surviving their
no
damages here, what does that really mean for how long? Like,
chances are he died on that mountain. He was kind of ready. He already kind of knew that.
Pretty much like the
he'll
thing.
die in the bed later just from whatever diseases he gets and blood loss from this and whatever. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Great movie. Great movie. Why not call it the Terrible 10? Because Hateful Eight just works.
Terrible implies it's more sinister than hateful. We are the terrible. That sounds like a Justice League villain group or something. We are the Terrible 10.
So does the Hateful Eight, though. So I mean, I can't really knock it.
Powers with our titties or something. I don't know.
But hey, if anybody wants it, $5 on Blu-ray on Amazon right now. So there you go.
It needs a 4K bad. It has a 4K master. It's not like it'd be an upconvert like Inglourious Basterds would be.
Yeah. Oh, good movie. Good times. All right. Well, I guess we'll move on to me.
And I'm pretty sure the extended cut is 4K on
I think it is on
Netflix and Dolby Atmos as well. But yeah,
if you pay for 4K on Netflix. Because they make you do that now still, don't they? Or do they not? I don't know.
Yeah, they make you pay the highest amount. But there is a big difference because I did watch the 4K version and compared it. Like, there's some shots where the color is like, oh my God, just the 4K. It looks like a real dusk sky. Right. Anybody who lives in a snowy area knows exactly how that sky looks. The color, they just don't have it on the Blu-ray. It just kind of looks like kind of purplish, but it looks just brilliant on the 4K. I'm just like, oh my God, that's a huge difference. Just the detail and because the amount of detail that went into the production of this film, that's the thing. And that was kind of what I was saying earlier is that Tarantino goes to those extremes with building the world, with the production value, with the, the little things, so that his more elaborate operatic things that he does don't seem to be so out of this world. But when you step back and look at it, Tarantino's a lot like Verhoeven, and this film, like, all his other films, are a lot like RoboCop in that respect, that it's meant to be kind of a satire, right? Like the violence is so over the top. It's almost operatic in itself in a way. So yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. No, okay. Hey, it's a good, that's what we're here for, to talk those movies and stuff. So that was good. I like that. Now my movie we probably won't be talking a lot about, because I guarantee I'm the only, my movie two picks besides the one we ain't going to be talking a lot about, because I'm the only ones that have seen them, guaranteed. But somebody reached out to me, an independent film director reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to see their movie. I said sure, and they sent me a Blu-ray of their movie, and it's called Island Pines. Good movie, good flick. If you like independent films, independent low budget horror movies, it's about a group of friends getting together on Halloween, and an alien creature monster shows up and causes shit and kills people. So there you have it. That's the movie in a nutshell for you guys. I enjoyed it, and like I said, I know I'm the only one to have seen it. So yeah,
Facts.
Yep. I know.
Was there a favorite scene you had in there, like a particular special effects shot that was pretty cool? You're like, it's an independent. But shut up.
No, it's good. There's not like a whole lot of special effects like that. Let me think about it.
It probably has better special effects than my next movie I'm going to talk about.
No, it's got a good one.
I mean, do you have a favorite scene? I guess like a sequence from that.
Yeah,
movie?
it's really good. It's got this there's a scene. What I liked about it in general was that it feels like these are a group of people. Like you can tell the people that made this were film fans and like grew up watching like the Monster Squad and stuff. Because it feels like these people are the kids who grew up watching Monster Squad coming together for a Halloween party where a monster actually shows up and they have to fight the monster and they have no fucking clue how to fight the monster. Right. Yeah. So like there's a great scene where all like the three friends are surrounding the monster ready and trying to fight it, and they're like hitting it and stuff. Then the monster just like slices one of them right in the chest, and the blood just squirts everywhere, and they're like, oh shit, this is real. So that's a great scene.
You think they're all right?
So like that's a great scene. And there's like, I mean, what's going on is like they're trying to get to a costume party, so it's like divided up in 3 stories. Like there's the main part of the story is these friends coming together for their annual Halloween tradition that they do, going to go to the Halloween party. And then there's the Halloween party going on where people are like trying to have a costume party. And then there's the next door neighbor who's like trying to keep the Halloween tradition alive. You know, he's just trying to hand out candy and stuff and not be bothered. So there's like 3 separate stories, and it all sort of culminates at the end with this monster coming. And so it's a fun movie. It's a great independent horror movie. Thing is, I know people in this movie is why it was sent to me, like Brooks Davis, who I've had on my channel from Full Moon Features. He's in this movie. He makes an appearance because the guy that made this movie, him and his partner Alexis, they work for Full Moon as well. So there you go. That's why I got this. They do sound and stuff, and they made this movie as like an homage to those movies from the 80s and 90s, like I was mentioning. And it's just a fun movie. So it's a fun movie. And there you have it. It's fun. It's like a horror comedy. So like there's a scene where a guy goes into the bathroom and like his dick splits open. It like shows that, and an alien pops out of his dick. So
oh, how nice.
So it's already better than Romulus?
Yes. I would watch this over Romulus. I would watch this over Romulus any day of the week, because this is the type of stuff I like. So there you have it.
You had me at alien popping out of his dick, sir.
It's just like it threw me by surprise because I didn't expect something like that in this movie, the way it was playing, because it feels like a late 80s, early 90s movie that you'd see like on the shelf at a store, and you just like take a chance for it, like a Full Moon type movie. And then all of a sudden, like this dude he's like super sick. He goes to the bathroom, starts pissing blood, and it's like little alien monster just pops out of his dick and squirts out. It's like, what the fuck is that? So it took me by surprise. Did not expect that.
Awesome.
Yeah, but no, like I said, my first 2 movies I guarantee you've not seen because they're independent films of people I know that I got. So yeah, there you go.
Nice.
Brooke, do you want to do yours before, and then me and Tom do our next 2 after you do yours, and then we'll go back to the big conversation?
Oh yeah.
All right, what do you got?
All right. I forgot to change my
There's no camera.
Setting. Hold on. Yeah, I forgot to. I usually change it right as I get into the studio thing, but I totally forgot to connect it. Okay. So that connected now. There we go. Okay.
I'll turn it back off.
No. Yeah, I rewatched 8 Mile. It's been many years since I saw it, and when I saw it, it was on TV, so all the words that were curse words were censored. So that was a funny watch back then. But rewatching it again, no, it's a good one. I like it. It's one of those ones where like I don't have as far as history with rap stuff. I usually hate rap music. Usually the ones that are just like yo man, money, bitches, champagne, ones that like are more braggy. I don't really like in particular, but there's a certain like YouTube channels that I've watched that like broke down different rap stuff. I've watched like, Epic Rap Battles of History was a good way to enjoy like a thing, I know about that character. And when they say certain things, I sort of ended up liking that sort of stuff. So watching 8 Mile now, I like it even more, I guess. I knew I've had the songs in the final battle, like, in my head for years. Like I like those ones. They make fun of each other and stuff. It's a fun movie. I like it. It's cool. Eminem, I don't see him as an actor, but he does really fucking good in this. He's a hothead, super hothead in this. He like gets in fights like all the time in this thing. Shit.
I've never seen 8 Mile.
You've not seen 8 Mile? Okay.
I don't like Eminem.
I liked it better the first time when it was called Malibu's Most Wanted. No, actually, I like that movie quite a bit. It's actually pretty good. But I gotta ask you, did you lose yourself in the music the moment
you want it? You never let it go?
Yeah, what's funny? So a funny story about lose yourself. So at my old high school, one of my math teachers of like my freshman year or sophomore year, I forget what year, he made like a music video with some of the film students or something, like called "Lose Yourself to the Digits of Pi." And so it's like, you got to lose yourself to the digits of pi. It's a high. You got 1,000 more to go. You better stop, drop, and lock in the pattern. No, mesmerizing takes most of a lifetime. And he's like an older man dressed trying to be Eminem and stuff, trying to be thuggish or something. It's just like funny as shit.
Boy, you white
with that. Yeah, exactly. And it's funny with an old man math teacher trying to be Eminem, and it's like, yeah, we're rapping with the digits of pi, man. All that. Funny thing. But yeah, as far as the movie goes, yeah, I like it. I like the build up at the end, at the beginning.
Well, it's basically his version to where it makes him look like a saint, but yeah, practically.
Yeah.
Of course.
Weird Al's
well,
version.
that's the thing too. I haven't like delved into the history of Eminem and exactly. I've just heard different bits and pieces from different people that cover his music and stuff, that talk about him, like that share different things and whatnot. Like I haven't actually done like a dive into his history exactly. So I don't know, maybe one of these days I will. I know that nowadays he's said a lot of stupid things, probably gone a lot more political with some of the stuff, but I don't know. As far as the music goes, he makes a lot of banging music. So at least to me,
he said something similar to "Go force yourself."
Yeah, pretty much. Exactly. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's all right. And then the battles are fun to see, especially, you know something about somebody and you can turn it, you can lyrically pwn them is like a fun concept. Instead of going like, you're a asshole person, like if you can somehow turn something about them and turn it into, a rhyme or into a rhythm and punch them in the face with it. I like that kind of shit. So that's some fun. I saw 8 Mile, and don't know. I feel like our audience here probably aren't fans of 8 Mile, but I don't know.
I think most people have liked it.
Hard to say because they're probably more Prince fans, as we figured out last week. So
Eminem's really kind of sullied his own image in the last few years. That's the problem.
I know he has lots of phases where he's seen differently by like throughout time, like throughout the last 30 years.
This would be called his pussy phase that he's in right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not only that, a lot of these stars, they get to a point, I mean, beyond the politics and all that bullshit, they get disconnected from what made them what they were.
Yeah.
So this movie and that album is probably one of the last bastions of what was left of the old life that he had, regardless if it's, you want to sit there and go, oh, it's a glorified version of whatever. But at the end of the day, I mean, he has been a rich elite a hell of a lot longer than he was a kid on the street. And see, now there's some lyrics for you.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and that's actually an interesting point. I haven't thought about it like that because, in this it's shown he's like a trailer park kid and that seems to be
He was a trailer
something-
park kid for about 16 years, Rook. That's
Yeah,
about it.
right.
Motherfucker's
But-
older than me.
But as you pointed out, he's now older, and that was like long time ago. Was that relevant to his personality now?
Like, my point is now he's
changed.
spent at least 20 or so plus years in the
Yeah.
lap of luxury. He is so disconnected from
his experience is entirely different than like having it be hard.
I know what
Exactly.
I'm with JNAP. I mean, I like 8 Mile, it's fine, but I think Hustle and Flow is a lot more.
Well, I guess
authentic,
I
not
haven't
to use
seen
that word again, but yeah.
I haven't seen a variety of music-driven films.
Hustle and Flow. If you
so-
haven't seen that fucking movie, you need to see it.
yeah,
Put it on your list, Rook.
I have a long list as it is, but yeah, as far
It's
as
hard out here for
yeah.
a pimp, Rook.
yeah, as far as like music-driven films, I haven't seen too many of them, but I wouldn't mind checking out more of them here and there.
Yeah,
Like, I see the
Rocky 3 does a
Purple
good
Rain
job
one,
of
I
telling
got
that
see
kind of a
those.
story. Yeah,
Yeah,
you get soft. Yeah, Hustle and
Yeah.
Flow though. That's
But,
probably one of the best
just-
hip hop movies ever.
yeah. There's just funny things with Eminem that I have learned over time. Like the song "Obsessed" by Mariah Carey is basically about Eminem. Well, I never saw the music video back in the day, so I just like only heard the song, and then I saw the music video, and I was like, "Hey, that guy looks familiar. What is that Eminem?" Like apparent, and like he always apparently has like he's, as far as I can tell, he's like most famous for having beefs with everybody, and in a lot of his songs, layering lots of different disses to different people in like any song he makes. And it's like, shit, okay. I mean, I guess that's cool, but I don't know. It seems like I
He's
have
either
to know,
rapping about
I have to
himself
know
or
a lot. I
he's
have to
rapping
know
about
a
other
lot
people all the time.
for it to really matter, I guess. Like I have to know it to
And his most relevant songs are about a stalker and his kid. Like,
Yeah.
really, at the end of the day, I mean, he made a career out of doing the diss track, which was kind of a thing that some rappers did. And they really, look, I'll be honest with you, most diss tracks come off like shit.
Yeah, no,
They're
I
just
agree.
petty bullshit.
The few I've heard, I'm like,
Mama
it
Said Knock You Out was like the only one that transcended
Well-
the diss track, basically. And I don't even
Yeah.
know if you know that song, but
Well, I mean, I guess a
LL
lot
Cool
of
J,
diss
but-
tracks almost come off as like bitch made in a way, because it's like you hurt my feelings. Now I'm gonna make one about you. It's kind of. I mean, some of them hit harder. Like some of them hit in like like they make a good song and they're dissing somebody. Like those, I think, are probably more worth it. But then, yeah, I don't know. Some of them come off like especially with Eminem, he does seem like, you know, oh, you hit me hard. Now I'm going to try to hit you 10 times harder. And it's like, because you're fragile. Like, well, why? Okay. I don't know.
It's
See,
so
that's what
fucking
he'll
yo.
be interesting if I were to like research into him from beginning to current. That would probably be a funny journey to see like where he was to where he is.
well, this is pretty much his peak here. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, some people like his career. He had quite a few fans that followed him for years and years and years and years.
Yeah.
But I just kind of got to the point where
I think it also negatively affected other white rappers that like anybody that would be a white rapper, they'd be like, you're just trying to be Eminem. And I think a lot of them are like, fucking no, not. Like,
I
probably.
just listened to the
probably
Beastie
not.
Boys.
Yeah.
well, and
So
Eminem's,
so
I
what
hate
you
saying it, but
want?
he's kind of one note. I mean, that's the thing too, is, I mean, people act like he's some musical fucking genius, and it's like, not really. I mean, he's okay. I mean, his best music is when he's got Dre producing. But I'm not sitting here trying to diss on Eminem.
Well, I mean,
He's
I
so
guess
fucking
the way
petty,
I've
he'll
heard
probably
like
show up in the
some,
chat.
yeah, the way I've heard some other rappers that like that are like rapper reactors that like break down music and stuff and would not say like there's a lot of things that I guess are in a lot of these raps I wouldn't have noticed if they don't point out. Like they're not only rhyming a couple of words here or there at the end of a thing, they're like rhyming the beginning, middle, end. They're like saying it to a beat, they're saying it to a tone, or they're doing something that like adds layers that make it more interesting. But it's one of those things that's like, well, that's kind of neat if you know it. If I don't,
Well, Eminem's
I don't
good
know
at
that when I'm listening
wordplay, I'll
to it,
give
I
him
guess it's
that.
whatever.
I mean,
you know,
he's definitely good at definitely good at wordplay, but I don't know. I mean, he
Yeah.
can fast rap or whatever you call it. Like that's another thing that was always kind of impressive about him. But
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, that's that.
Yeah. I don't like rap Brian Barth, but that's not to say that there aren't rap songs that I do like. You know what I mean? I'm not somebody who actively seeks out or listens to rap, but I've heard rap songs that I like.
Yeah. There's a lot of rap songs that I like, but I can't say that I like the rap genre. I prefer rock and it's because I've heard so many rap songs that I hate. Like, and especially growing up, my brother would always play songs. I'm just like, oh my god, stop!
I was actually
it.
really into rap until the Puff Daddy era. Basically, that's when I kind of fell out because, well, and really the main reason is Puff Daddy just got lazy as fuck. Right. I mean, it used to be you'd mix a few songs together, you'd play with it, you'd do some things. In some cases, you couldn't even tell what the original song was. Not always, but in some cases. He comes in and he just literally loops the main beat and rips off the chorus. It's like you're not doing anything original here.
I'll be watching you.
Yeah.
I feel like
and he raps like he's lazy too. Like I just don't.
Yeah. How P Diddy made it so big, I think it's because everybody got dirt on everybody, or they got dirt on him.
Well, he raps like he couldn't be bothered to be raps. Like, yeah, I'm here, I'm Puff Daddy, and I'm on the scene. And why is this microphone in my face?
I'm here. I've got a beer, and you look queer, right?
I thought I told you that we won't stop.
I always feel like I'm Joe Dirt from that scene when he's like, "Oh no, these are bands I'm listening to, Skinner and Seeger." I was always into like the
Van Halen, not Van Hagar.
Yeah, Van Halen, not Van Hagar. I was like, that's what I grew up on. My parents would like listen to. My parents' uncles would listen to like Hank Williams Jr. and like Conway Twitty and stuff like that. Then I would be listening to like rock and roll, 80s metal and stuff like that. So I was never really into the whole rap scene. My older brother was, so that's why I've heard a few from him, but I never really got into it. So Milli Vanilli's looking down at everybody getting famous on TikTok for doing the same thing they do, and they got screwed over. So
right.
Yeah.
Honestly, they're almost more real musicians than some of the other ones out there nowadays. It's not even...
Yeah, because like didn't even
what's
like
sad about the whole Milli Vanilli thing is like they didn't do anything that the industry hadn't been doing for the last 30, 40 years at that point.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding. Like, if you think, like, you'd be surprised how many bands in the 60s are literally just the same studio musicians making like 3-4 albums, and then they'd create 2 or 3 different bands, and they'd send these kids out on tour that weren't even the people on the recordings. Because there's this one guy, and I can't remember his name, but he literally had like, he was singing on 3 of the top songs at the same time in 3 different bands, but he never was actually in any of those bands because they didn't exist. Like
the music industry, man.
It was crazy back then. I mean, they did this, and now that's not exactly lip syncing, but you know, I mean, it kind of all came to a head between the sampling thing between Vanilla Ice and MC Hammer, the lady from the Weather Girls or whatever, Martha Washington or whatever, when she sued CNC Music Factory and Black Box and all those people for using her as a studio musician in all those songs, and then putting somebody else in the video lip syncing to her shit.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of set a lot of these things, I feel like, in motion, so that by the time, and Milli Vanilli, I mean, the same thing happened to, what was it, Jessica Simpson's sister? I can't remember her name.
Ashley Simpson
on Saturday Night Live, where the CD started skipping on her.
Yeah,
I mean,
I remember that.
That's literally what happened to Milli Vanilli. That's how they got caught. I mean, there was some weird rumors going around, but it was like, the video's out there, you can find it. It was just like, you know, at that moment, do I feel bad for them? No, you got busted, but do I feel like they deserved the vitriol that they got? Not really, because I feel like the industry was already so fucking fake. It was almost, we should have just kind of treated it like, well, of course they're lip syncing and they're not real.
Yeah.
Like, but it's because some real musicians did make that music, though, right? Like, that's the thing. Is it's not like now where if, like, I feel like now somebody could do this with like AI and then go out there and then confess that, yeah, no, I'm not really singing on any of these songs. This is actually AI. I didn't write any of this business. And people will go, well, of course, you know, and just kind of, you know, blow over. So in that respect, I kind of do feel bad for them, especially considering the ending that they all, you know, that the whole situation kind of brought upon the duo. One was, you know, off to themselves, and then the other one, they got several problems as well. So like, yeah, it was just the pressure of everything.
And they even tried, like, afterwards, like, they
Yeah.
came out with an album where they actually sang.
CNC Music Factory is the same goddamn way.
Mm-hmm.
Do you realize that the guys that went around rapping weren't even the guys that were on the friggin' album? Like, because the album was done and like half those guys left, and then like so they had to come together with a group and make this group. So like I think only one of the original members was even still part of that group at that time, and then he left. And then now the band's literally made up of like nobody that's was ever even in the CNC. And like one of the original guys was trying to get the name back here a few years back from what I remember. It's like it's like a lot of these bands. It's just like they're not even really bands or anything like that, or groups. They're just studio musicians basically.
That's where they get them. That's where they get them. But yeah, there you go, Rook. I have not seen 8 Mile though. That's again, I've not seen it. I know a lot of people do like the movie. I know a lot of people do like it. So.
It's probably a little too melodramatic for you. I don't know if you'd really dig it.
It takes itself extremely seriously, and there are some funny jokes in it, but it's mostly serious.
That's what I mean by melodramatic. It's very Lifetime movie.
I've never been a big fan of Eminem though. I was never one of the people that was like, oh, the Eminem. I was like, I don't really care. That was always my stance to Eminem. I was like, he's somebody I never really got. But hey, I know a lot of people liked him. So,
cool,
all right. Breaking it up there a little bit, huh, Rook? Trying to go.
Oh shit! I didn't even know this. This was just. I got to bring this up here. Hang on.
Oh, go ahead.
This was just sent to me online here. I didn't even know this shit. Hank Ronson sent this to me. I don't know.
Is it true? Is it true that Diddy has to pay you $2,000 a day because he didn't ask permission to sample every breath you take?
Yeah.
Wow.
For the rest of his life.
Wow.
No.
What? No, I read that before. That's not true, is it?
Yes.
No.
Why would he lie?
It's on the radio.
Yeah, it has to be
It's
true.
on the radio.
You read it somewhere, it's
It ain't
true.
fake news.
I don't want to get you in trouble. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn. Sting's like, yeah, $2,000 a day.
I did not know that.
Neither did I.
I figured he's a freaking he should know.
That's what they did back in the day, man. Like they would, like you were just talking about, they would sometimes those rappers would just use them and not even bother to tell anybody.
Okay, to be fair, up until Vanilla Ice and MC Hammer, they just kind of let it slide. Because none of these rappers were selling the kind of amount of albums that it would be even worth trying to take them to court over. And the samples they were using and mixing, like I said, it was very short. Like they were basically using or abusing the fair use law, right? Because you were allowed up to like so many seconds of a sample of an audio sample you could use. And that's how up through, that's why you pay attention. Up through that era, there's a lot of music that'll sample like bits from movies and little pieces of this and that and the other. And there was even some, rappers where that was their whole game, was mixing all this stuff together. Well, then when those court cases happened, well, then now all these artists realize they have to go back and pay for the music. But before that, they were even paying for some of them, I know, but it was just Vanilla Ice and Hammer didn't pay. And that's what, because like I think the Sugar Hill Gang paid like for the rights to use that music.
Yeah.
Because that's what you call it, Good Times.
Yeah, good.
But they just basically paid for the song and they get a co-writing credit, I think it is. Basically how Weird Al does his shit. The original writers get a co-writing credit with him on the parody, basically. And and I remember from school, you just basically got to pay a royalty on every copy you produce, is all it is. It's really not that expensive, and that's why there's a lot of cover songs out there.
Yeah.
But to use somebody's song, to actually sample somebody's song, is even more different. It's one thing to just lift a piece of something and then pay the actual writer. But if you're lifting a piece of an actual sample of music, that's a whole different animal. And that's kind of where we got to, especially with Puff Daddy, where he's not even doing anything to it, right? He's literally just ripping and looping the...
Yeah, that and now Sting gets $2,000 from him all the time.
A day.
That is crazy. Yes, and Vanilla Ice with David Bowie and Queen. What's his name?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
with the
because even Vanilla
Pressure.
Ice tried to argue,
The
oh no,
Pressure.
our version's dun 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 dun,
dun,
and their version's dun 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 dun. It's like, no, motherfucker, they're the same goddamn thing.
Pressure. No, it's Vanilla Ice. It's
And
Ice
if
Ice
you can't
Baby.
tell me that, yeah, in the MCA, Super Freak, Jesus Christ, come on. I mean, I don't even think he changed that at all either. I think it's a straight up sample, right? Like, at least with Vanilla Ice's version, I think it is. I don't think it's an actual sample of the Queen song. I'm not 100% sure on that. But I'm almost positive that MC Hammer is using a sample of Super Freak. It's that opening break. Yeah.
Super Freak. She's super freaky.
She's super freaky. Ow. She's a very kinky girl.
I was gonna say, you don't mess with the music industry, man. Especially on like they'll get you quicker than the movie people will, like that.
Well, and it has, like I said, it has mostly to do with if anybody's making money, mainly. That's the main thing. Like, if somebody's making money, then they'll go after you. Then you have like the situation where like the My Sweet Lord thing with George Harrison, where I don't think he consciously ripped off the song. It happens sometimes. Like, you know, it's like one of the most hilarious scenes in a film, and it is true because C, D, and G are 3 of the most used chords in music.
Yeah.
You know, and he's trying to teach the Mexican guys how to sing Twist and Shout, and they all start singing La Bamba, and he's like, no, not La Bamba, it's I guess it is La Bamba.
It's I mean, it's bound to happen eventually when somebody, like you said, it's the most used chord.
But yeah, Tim Morrell brings up the point of blurred lines, and that's a whole nother subject. But yeah, once that court case went through, I think it opened the floodgates of problems, especially in a world where Led Zeppelin has gotten away with it for 40 years.
That's true.
Love them or hate them, you cannot deny that they haven't ripped off almost every darn thing they've done.
And the music industry is cutthroat. What can you say?
Yeah, either you're on top and you can steal it and get away with it, or you can't steal it because you're stealing from somebody on top and you got famous doing it. So
yeah. All right, Rook. Any final words on 8 Mile?
Nope. I think that's good as it was. Still recommend the movie regardless of what people think about Eminem or his music. I think it's still entertaining enough, but like Tom said, it is melodramatic.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I brought 4K on like a few months back. I remember.
Yeah. Like, they do a good job at making you feel for the character and putting them in an environment that it would kind of make sense how one acts that way. So
yeah, I mean, hey, we've got to get to a point. I know it's hard to do this for certain people here lately, but we've got to get to the point where you got to separate the art from the artist.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I know it's getting harder and harder because the more that we allow them to speak, the more people are turned off by them. So
well, and that's the thing too. Like, artists are people too, so they will run their mouth at something, and you can't just go. Like, I don't know. That's why you can't always be like, you know, well, they said it, now I can't support it. Like, I don't know. Like, sometimes that, I get it, but I don't know.
I can still watch the original Star Wars and root for Luke Skywalker because that's Luke Skywalker.
Yeah,
I know there could be a damper on a lot of people nowadays, but I don't know.
I know what you mean. I can watch them and not feel like, yes, it definitely goes into the sequel trilogy. Nope. Not in my head. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
So, but all right, Tom, let's go to you. What's your next pick of the night?
All right. I picked up a classic from
Classic Tom.
Who put this out? This is from Bayview Entertainment.
No, Bayview. I don't know if I've heard of Bayview.
I'm surprised, but it is put together with the 3D film archive, so it is a 3D movie.
Okay.
It is the horror classic Robot Monster.
Oh, Robot Monster.
In 3D.
The dude with the helmet on. What year is that?
1954, I think. 53.
I have that on VHS.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, what's hilarious about this, or not hilarious, but I mean, the movie itself is just batshit fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's one of the.
I don't even know how to explain it. Like, there's a big chunk of the story missing, I think.
It's one of the worst films of all time.
It is one of the best worst films ever. It does have an anaglyph 3D version on it too, so if you don't have a 3D TV, and I mean, and it just is loaded with special features. I mean, you've got a bunch of archival 3D stuff in here. The short film that showed with this movie is on here, and everything. Like the inside is just used to list all the special features. So you get the standard film. If you want to watch it in standard, you can watch it in polarized 3D or anaglyph 3D. And they say that they're missing a bunch of frames, and so they repeat frames in order to maintain the stereoscopic synchronous. Whatever they did, I didn't really notice. Like, I thought it was a fairly decent 3D presentation for the most part. Oh, you got it in 3D too on tape?
Yeah, huh? On tape it's 3D with the blue and red glasses. Yeah.
So yeah, but anyway, I guess like the history of this is kind of funny that the guy that found this movie, he was working in some like archive or something like that, and he first come across the short film that played before it.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was showing that at a few places, or he put that away to show later on. And then at one point he found, I think it was one side of the print. It wasn't the negative, but it was a print of the 3D print, but it was like the left, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then so he dug for months, and then finally one day come across the right side. So for the first time in history in a long time, we had an official 3D print, probably since that version you got there, Greg, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is.
It's pretty bad.
It is pretty fucking bad. I'm sure Mystery Science Theater 3000 has done an episode on it.
Well, the director killed himself. Offed himself.
Did he really?
Yeah.
After making this movie or after watching it?
Well, this is what it says on the back. Some people have corrected me when I've read this, so other people might know. But it says this is what it says on the back of the VHS. When this movie made its debut in 1953, the reviews were so bad, director Phil Tucker attempted to off himself. Today, it's recognized as one of the best bad films ever made. So yeah, I think eventually he did die though. So yeah, he did.
Well, most of us do eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, no, but I mean, as far as the movie goes, it's about this kid, and he's basically dreaming the whole time. I mean, and it's pretty obvious from the start, because you go from normal world to all of a sudden we're in this post-apocalyptic world where he's one of the only like 8 people left on Earth. And of course, the only other people left on Earth are in his family, because his dad had come up with this formula that like cures everything.
Mm-hmm.
So they're the only people left on Earth, and these robot monster aliens are trying to take over Earth, I guess, for whatever reason. I can't even remember what for. And it is just some of the hokiest crap you've ever seen in your life.
It's just an ape soup with a fishbowl like thing.
Yeah. Literally, that's what it is.
That's all it is.
And the stuff they have for like all this, his like machinery and all that crap. And again, it seems like it was shot for $1.50 in the desert. And actually, I can't remember where it was actually shot, but the place that it was shot was like supposed to be all scenic and shit. And it kind of is, don't get me wrong, but
yeah,
it just feels cheap as fuck. But it's kind of an interesting 3D movie, I guess.
I mean, it's a fun watch. Let's be honest, it's a fun watch. I always like,
and it's only an hour. I mean,
yeah, it's not very long. So that is apparently, according to Barry Bard, they said it was actually fueled by depression and dispute. I mean, it's still sort of the same thing. So let's refuse to pay him. But no, I've been wanting to get that Blu-ray for a while, so it looks good.
Yeah, it looks pretty good considering it's from a print and not like the. It says it's from the best elements, because the original film has been deteriorated, I guess.
Yeah.
So like the negative is gone.
Why does it seem like it's directed by Ed Wood?
kind of in that vein.
It is.
I mean,
it
the
is.
acting is horrible.
Oh,
And the story elements and the character arcs make zero fucking sense.
No,
You know what I'm talking about. They've got this like on again, off again relationship with this guy and chick. It's all a dream anyway, so maybe that's how you can kind of get away with it. It's supposed to be like this kid's dream, but it's just off the wall silly. And they don't. It does. It just kind of jumps in the middle of the movie. It makes you like go, are we missing like 10, 15 minutes of the movie or something? Is there a reel missing? I don't get it.
I bet there is. I bet there's got to be a real missing because it's just, unless that was just the way they made it, man, because you never really know. It's really, it's crazy. Yes, it's drive-in fodder. This is like what you would call a drive-in movie from the 50s. It's fun. It's fun. I've been wanting to get, because I think there's other like movies on that too, ain't there? Because I seen a review about this, and I think there's like other types of movies or something on there on that.
Well, like I was saying, there's a whole bunch of like, I mean, they're not movies, but there's a bunch of 2D features and 3D features. So you got like a couple of older, there's like 3 or 4 older 3D short films from back in the day, and then plus you get the Stardust in Your Eyes, and where you can watch it right before the movie like you would have seen it in theaters. That's the one I was talking about before, that the guy found the short, and then he later found the rest of the movie. But then there's like they took like some slides and stuff and other things in 3D, so there's a little 3D presentation of that. There's a comic book in here that's in 3D. So I mean, it's kind of a celebration of 3D altogether, and they just kind of cram it all on here. And when Kino does these with the 3D archive, they do similar, but like they really loaded this one up.
Is it
like in that one you'll get
book, like a pop-up or something?
Yeah, they just scanned a 3D comic book, and they utilize the technology the way that 3D works because it's polarized, or you can use the anaglyph if you want to, but it's just basically it's got 2 different pictures is what it is, but the way that the glasses work, you can only see one.
Glasses. Okay,
yeah.
I've never heard of that. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's just like going to see a 3D movie in the theater.
Awesome.
That's cool.
But they don't really make those TVs anymore, so it's kind of
No.
I love how 3D was like, it's going to be the next best thing ever. They made like 20 movies that are kind of worth seeing on 3D, and like we're gonna have 3D TVs, and people are gonna.
You're not 100% wrong.
And then it was like, and then it was like 1 year later, it was like, no, nobody cares.
But I've actually got a lot of 3D Blu-rays, actually. Like a lot. So like eventually I will try and get because they do make projectors that still do 3D. So
yeah,
I feel like after Avatar, they were like certain that 3D was going to be the thing of the future, and then it's like, nah, no.
It happens. It happens. Everybody good? Everybody good? All good?
Yeah.
I think so.
I hear echo.
Yeah, I hear echo too.
That's because I got my headphones off because Sadie's outside. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Right.
That's okay. Yeah.
Otherwise, I can't hear with my headphones on.
Gotcha.
It's not hard. It's not Dances with Smurfs. No, I've been wanting to get that Blu-ray for a while. I heard it was a pretty good one, so I do want to get that. I do want to get that one.
That was a South Park reference. Dances with Smurfs. Yes.
Yes. All right. I guess we'll go to me if that nothing else. Tom, you all good? All right. Well, once again, I guarantee this is a movie neither one of you have seen, and once again, it's I've been meaning to watch this for a while because I know the directors and one of the actresses in the movie. So I watched Murder Size, the deadliest aerobics video ever made. Great movie, by the way. It takes place in like the 80s. It's filmed in and out, but it takes place in the 80s. It's crazy. It's funny. It's bloody. It's booby. It's awesome. It's a fun.
I figured
movie.
I was gonna try to guess the title. When you have obscure ones like that, I almost want to guess what the title will be. Like describe the movie a little or something. All right, what is this thing called?
It's called Murder Size. No, this is actually a really good one. This is a fun movie. It's like a love letter to those like 80s weird 80s slasher movies, and like it takes place in the 80s. It's about these group of girls. And honestly, they nailed it because it's about these group of girls and they're going to make this workout video, and the workout video is actually it's sort of being made by like a mob boss, sort of, which is they actually legit did that stuff back in the day. That like that was one of the businesses, so-called businesses, they would actually be legit, where they would make videos like that, then mass produce them and make money off of them. So yeah, so it's basically about these girls, and one girl is the goody two-shoe girl. She's so obsessed. She likes Ronald Reagan, and she thinks all the girls are communists and sluts and whores. so it's really funny. And then she kind of gets hooked up with the mob boss's wife's daughter. They bring her in. She kind of makes friends with her, and like they start getting killed, and like there's I don't want to spoil everything to it, but it's got like sort of a mystery, because there's people killing people, and then this one girl, she's absolutely nuts. So it's fun, and it's got that 80s aesthetic, and it really feels it's a great love letter to those type of movies. And like I said, I know the directors, and the woman, I know the woman in the opening of the movie who's taking a shower. I know her. She's a good friend of mine. She does a full 80 shower scene for you guys. She's a good friend. I was going to make a fake video like I was running for president, and I decided to stop making, I decided not to make that video, but I did ask her to do me a little, just so you know who I'm talking about. This is the lady I'm talking about.
He's got my vote.
Yeah. So,
Nice.
yes, I know her name's August Kiss. She's if you want to see her get naked and killed in the beginning of that movie, there you go. You watch that movie.
You want to see this pretty lady die in the beginning of the spooky movie? All right.
You can see her naked before in the shower. So, but no, she's a good friend. So yeah, but it's a fun movie. It's a legit fun movie. I do recommend it. And yes, by the way, I know I see it out in the chat there. Both of these are on Tubi, which is, you guys know me and how I feel about streaming and all that. But Tubi is a great tool, as I've come to learn from these directors, these independent directors, for their movies, because it helps them to get physical media versions of their movies out, because Tubi is watched more than most streaming services.
That was how I discovered a lot of movies that you guys haven't heard of.
It's watched more than Netflix, or more than not Netflix, like Disney Plus and them. So yeah, but
it's like they push a lot of movies that look cool to the surface that nobody's heard of, and so it's like, hey, instead of watching the thing I've seen before, I could watch that. And it's like, okay, why not? All right, cool. All right.
Yeah. But I do recommend Murder Size. Murder Size is fun. It's a fun movie. Like I said, I knew the two movies I had nobody had seen before. But yeah, if you want to see them, you can check them out on Tubi. But you can also buy them on Blu-ray. Just typically with these Blu-rays like these, you got to go to their webs. They're like because they're independent, so they ain't got people behind them. So you got to find them out, their social medias and whatnot, and they'll have usually the links in their bio where you can go and buy the Blu-ray of their movie. But yeah, there you have it. I knew I was the only one. So are we ready to get to the big topic once again after last week? Rook?
Indeed, yeah, I chose to just watch two of them. Because you guys said that we'll probably talk about them again in October, and so I'm like, all right, I can watch the last three then.
Yeah, because we'll probably, once the 4K of the first one comes out, we'll probably retalk them again. So
yeah, so I just watched 3 and 4 this week.
So I gotta know, because did you like 3?
I liked both of them, actually.
Oh, okay, good.
And honestly,
yeah.
I'd have to maybe think about it, or maybe as we talk about it, I'll figure it out tonight. I don't know which one I like more than the other. I think 4 surprised me with how it kept things established in the third one, and that made it really simple to follow as it was going. And I was surprisingly sort of engaged with okay, so how are they gonna utilize this time. Okay. And the stuff they did in number 3, I like it. There's something maybe as we walk through it, it'll, we'll see what I feel. I liked number 3. I feel like their dream power stuff. I don't know. It seemed like that stuff should work, but then he's like powerful because he's got all these souls. It seemed like they would have been able to do a little more damage to him, I guess. The skeleton coming to life. The skeleton coming to life is probably the one thing I'm like, I just don't know if that's what they needed to do.
Just so you know what we're talking about. We're talking about the Nightmare on Elm Street 3-4. And I got my nice little...
Yeah.
Yeah.
The skeleton coming to life is probably the one thing I'm like, I don't know, because it's not in a dream state. The skeleton's like alive, attacking the guys.
He had to go stop him from burying him.
I guess I just would have.
He went back into his body and he has no body. He's just a skeleton. So that's how he inhabited it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, just visually, I guess. Just like, I don't know.
I mean, there was no CGI or anything back then, so that how?
I know. I'm not saying that. It's just skeleton in general. Skeleton people things. I don't know. Those are tougher to sell for me to enjoy.
It's just funny because part 3 is considered the favorite amongst everybody, and it sounds.
I think it's really good. I think I might like 4 better, and this is
like right because Tom said
I'm struggling to come up with a critique here. Okay, I'm struggling to come up with a problem.
No. I mean, I'm glad you liked it, but I did find it funny that Tom last week said you'd be one of the weirdos that like 4 better than 3. Which not that 4 is a bad movie, because 4 isn't a bad movie. 4 is a good movie.
I feel like 4. I don't know. It's a good. 4 is hard to maybe put as better than 3, but I feel like they combined are a good combo. And yes, like if anything, it's a good trilogy. If we skip 2 and go 1, 3, 4,
technically 3, 4, and 5 are a trilogy
like that. Well, yeah, but I haven't seen 5 yet, so I
know, but I mean, when you get to it.
Yeah, like I don't know. I like the way that they continue it. They don't make it seem like, I don't know. They follow it in a way that makes sense. They establish rules and they continue with it.
Yeah,
and the characters try to learn from it. It's they find ways to still kind of keep you on your toes, even though you understand how this works and what's going on. But the effects too keep on being pretty creative and creepy and still look really good as well. Like I thought it was weird turning the one girl like into a fly sort or to like a cockroach thing.
Oh yeah,
that was kind of weird. I was like, that was kind of weird. I don't know if that's she squished a bug at the beginning, so she doesn't like bugs. And it's like, okay, turn her into a bug. That's to freak her out and have her like have it be coming out of her arms and her face peel off, getting on the trap. Like, ugh, man.
Yeah.
Even the effects is like that weren't even gory. The one like when she's in the movie theater and the popcorn and soda are flying out. I don't know why. I liked that too. Like the way that looked. It didn't look hokey. It looked good.
Yeah. Well, the like part 3 has one scene that I honestly which I know you're talking about 4 because I figured you like 4 better.
We can talk about both, whichever order you want to.
There's a scene in part 3 that I legitimately to this day I still can't watch. It's the marionette kid. I cannot watch that scene to this day.
Where he's like pulling him up by the guts. Yeah, no, I was about to say
it's his veins. It's not his guts. It's his veins.
Well, I'm sorry. I interpret the stringy flesh as guts usually, but you're right. His veins.
No, that's his veins. He's using his veins as puppetry. I can't watch that.
Yeah, that gave me like the heebie-jeebies. Like that was the one scene that gave me heebie-jeebies. That was like, oh man, that even though, and he's just looking at it, helpless to do anything. Like, oh my god, that, oh jeez, yeah, that was good. That was really good. Well, I like too how it's like people are like trying to, get him to stop, and they think, oh, he just killed himself, just gave up. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like he was awake. It's like, okay. I like both of them. I like how number 3 ignores number 2 entirely, and
you'll never see number 2 brought up ever again.
Yeah, I'm glad because I like the way.
Did you say before that you like 4 better than 3?
Yeah, he said.
No, I said I'm not. No, I said I'm not sure which one I like better than the other, and that as we discuss this, I'll maybe figure that out. I don't know. I don't know which one I like more. That's what I said.
Sure. That's what he said, Tom. That's what he said. He said he
I
might
stepped
like.
away for a few minutes and I overheard that.
He said he might like 4 a little better than 3. He's not sure yet. So
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm hoping to discuss stuff. So
and
we
speaking
can,
of which,
flesh it
I
out.
have to. I like your shirt again, Tom. I like your Fred shirt. I don't know if you saw my Springwood High hat. I mean, I got.
Yeah. You probably hate my shirt though.
No, I love your shirt.
Yeah.
And you can get that at my Teespring and my TeePublic store. TeePublic is cheaper, but go ahead, get you a shirt.
Yeah.
But go ahead. Let's get into what we're going into here.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed both of them thoroughly though. That's the main takeaway. Is that I really liked both of them, and I wasn't expecting to. I was expecting to maybe notice some kind of downgrade or some type of convoluted story element that I don't like, but I feel like they really put effort into making these really good, and not just with story, but I mean they amped it up like with all the stuff that happens in the first one. The guts on the ceiling, and that how you guys described how they filmed all that, all those film techniques. They still find ways to make it interesting and cool in these ones, like just finding different ways to do it. And it's not all based on his claws, which is one thing I was like not sure if they're going to do, is always have like a stabby stab be an element. But no, it's like bringing they have a great element to play with just dreams, which comes from each individual and their fears and stuff they can bring out, which plays really nice to it. And I don't know, I think it's interesting. I like how they make the kids have a way to sort of combat him, not necessarily win, but instead of just being like the what's the name of the girls that always get killed?
The final girls are the ones that will live. So
I don't know what I'm thinking of for the term, but I don't know, just ones that are always the ones that get killed first in the movies. Is there a name for that? Just
that's the
that's what
first
I'm thinking of. Or no, I swear I thought there was like a term for ones that just get chased around until they die.
First girl.
The
I thought there was a name.
I just made that up.
Like for ones where people get.
It didn't become a thing until you had like
it,
this.
So.
Well, I mean, there's the psycho thing, but then like I guess otherwise,
Scream did it.
Scream kind of did it too, but like yeah.
Whatever. Point being, I like how they're not just, oh no, I'm running around until I get killed. They are trying to find ways to, they're running away. They're scared of him, sure, but they try to find ways to do something to defend themselves, which I appreciate that being added to this, and the different ways, even the crippled kid and his like, I am wizard master man here, and I'm gonna get you.
I love that they all have their own little personalities and powers, but you gotta understand, like you talk about how the powers they can't. Well, Freddy's been doing this dream stuff longer than they have, so they had just figured out they could do this in their dreams. By the time
you're right. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. If anything, I guess I was imprinting how Pennywise works, how he enjoys like teasing them for a while before he kills them, as to where Freddy just kills them, but they make it clear that he is that like killing them gives him he collects their souls, and that makes him stronger essentially. So that's fine. It's like that's
you
good.
Gotta get the Pennywise
I love the depiction of the faces on his body. That's such a creepy concept.
Oh yeah.
Like the faces on them. I don't know if they got that from some other imagery in like history or something of faces described on the body, but that looked really cool to see there.
You got to see the behind the scenes thing of it, where they, when they go to the close up and you see him pressing out and the girl popping out and all that, and the guy pushing out. What they did was it was actually they built a full like huge like chest of his like that, right? And then they actually have people in it, and the people are pressing like they did with the wall in the first movie, because it's like that type of stuff, and it's just people inside of it pressing, and they just feel when it's like when they went into the close up, that's what it was, and then back way it's like prosthetics and puppetry, so it's like really all done together very well.
Yeah, that looked really cool. That's a cool sequence, and it was cool to see in the fourth one having Freddy like him be on the ropes for once, and not just like, oh no, you beat me or something. Just like, oh shit, I'm losing. I'm losing. Fuck, I can't do anything. To have him be kind of helpless for once is like that's like a satisfying comeuppance. Like
Yeah.
finally, this
Yeah, Alice
fucking
is
guy
awesome.
is getting down. Like, yeah, I feel like they built up to him being on the back foot. Like they made that so satisfying, which
Yeah.
might be why I'm saying that I like number 4 better, because that's like the feeling that you get at the end. Essentially, it's that, but it's that strengthened through what happens in number 3. So,
Well, I figured you would like
I don't
3
know.
because you like stakes when, like, because Nancy dies, her dad dies, and
Yeah.
it's final.
That too.
It's final.
Yes.
I mean, I will tell you
That's
that.
that's an excellent part of it, that they actually kill them.
I will tell you though, yeah, Heather Langenkamp and John Saxon are in part 7. They're the stars. Well, Heather Langenkamp is the star, but it's different. I'm not telling you why, because you have to see it. It's because it's a meta horror movie. It's the first attempt before Scream. But like you can watch 1, 3, and A New Nightmare. It's like a trilogy, and then you can watch 3, 4, and 5 is like a trilogy. But no, as for all intents and purposes, Nancy and her dad, her whole family's dead now. Like Freddy wiped them out.
Yeah,
and I figured you would like that because you like
I do like that.
Because you always like, well, nobody really dies, so I don't get it. So
what are you referring to with that?
Like other things, like I where you've said like, well, there's no real stakes here, so why am I invested in this? Like I heard you talk about the new Cobra Kai, which I haven't seen. Like you said, oh, like the new Cobra Kai, there's no real stakes. So like,
I said I'd like it if there were more stakes when they're presented with like a sword
where nothing
fight
lasts when something happens.
Well, it's literally. I mean, what I'm referring to with that was more like you literally had Chosen cut up and like he's assumed to be dead, and then it's like, well, no, he's actually okay. Like that's different. Like if you're going to present the stronger stakes like that, and then go, nope, they're okay. That annoys me sometimes. And Cobra Kai,
that's what I'm
I feel
saying.
like
Like
that happened up to a point.
no, like if they would have said, "Oh, we killed Nancy here," and then she's right back alive in the next one, you wouldn't have cared. That's what I mean.
Well, I probably would have rolled my eyes. Definitely, yeah, I would have been annoyed. Yeah,
But
and so,
no, like,
but yeah, I did like this.
Did you like the change of actresses for the? Because they changed the blonde from part 3 to part 4. Different.
I wasn't. That's why at the very first I wasn't sure if that was supposed to be the same girl, but then it was like, okay, that is her, different actress. Okay, cool. So yeah, I think she did okay. That was fine. It's good. It was the kind of thing where I didn't even really like pay attention to that she's different. I'm like, that's the same character. Cool.
Yeah.
So,
I just.
And so no, I like number 3 does a really good job as well. I mean, especially the element like where the kids are, they're basically where they should be to get help. They're around all these adults. They have all this care watching them all the time, and it's like it's like one of the least safest places they could be. But at least them being together gives them a chance to do something. I wasn't sure what was it. Was there a reason why the girl is able to pull other people into her dreams? Or
that's her dream power.
That
was her dream power.
That's her
like they're the dream warriors, so they all had dream powers. Her dream power was she could pull people into her dreams. The Kincaid was he was super strong in his dreams. Joey could talk. I
wasn't sure if that was an additional thing to something else she can do. Okay.
No, that was her dream power.
Okay, that makes more sense to me then. That actually works better too. So yeah, she can be the one that like she can't necessarily do what they can do, but she can, summon the team.
Yeah,
where they can't summon each other. Together. She can do that. That's good. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And I mean, I'm not saying that part 4 is bad because I love part 4, but I do find it funny because the part 3 is universally praised as the best of the movie.
What are things people have issues with part 4?
Nothing really. No, just part 3 is just considered. It's like no people like Thomas said, and other people, some people and even people in chat, RJ Godzilla likes part 4 more than part 3. There's people that do. It's just I just find it funny. Yeah.
Well, it's like
is there 3 more than anything next to one, the first one.
I just wonder if there is criticism on number 4 though. Like if there is,
it does have some plot holes. The movie was put together during the writer's strike, so they were literally shooting with like half a script.
So I just watched it. I might not have noticed the plot holes, or
I mean,
what's the plot holes?
they're not like glaring, but I mean, it's like basically, it's like it's a miracle the movie's as good as it is considering the goings on around it at the time, because it was just a mess getting put together. It's like they got their shit together for the most part for part 3, other than Chuck Russell being a first-time director didn't really know how to work with actors and crew, so he almost had everybody strike on him at one point. But this was what's his face's first directing role. I just forgot his name. Rennie Harlan,
yeah.
And not his first directing role, but first American movie anyway. And he really just got the job because they couldn't find anybody else. And Robert Shea thought that since he's young and big, he could probably do the job, because they need somebody with a lot of energy right now to get the movie done on time, because they had kind of locked themselves into a release date. So
yeah. But I mean, 4's good. I like 3, 4, and I even watched 5. I watched 5.
So did I. That's the one I watched this week.
Which I actually didn't hate 5 this time around as much as I have before in the past. Maybe because I've watched them 4 and 5 so close together. I think Alice is great in this one, and she's much hotter in part 5 than she is in the second one. It has its problems that with the whole kid and everything. It's surprisingly, which I can't believe people don't talk much about it. It's actually a pretty big movie for keeping a baby. You know what I mean? It really sends a message with like,
oh yeah, that's a big part of the story.
Yeah. To like not to, get rid of the baby. Even Freddie's mom, which I was curious what you thought about that, Rook, about Freddie's mom.
I actually wasn't expecting that to be the case. But
Yeah,
I mean, it makes sense. It's
laid.
It's like clearly there, but I wasn't focused on that being the case. I was just like, I mean, it's these kids are having issues. There's a religious lady around. I mean, okay, it shouldn't seem to interact with anybody. A little odd, but I was like, didn't think about it that much at the time, and yeah, I thought it was interesting. His conception, I think, is that's a wow. Okay, yeah, as mom being raped by hundreds of psychopaths
Son
or whatever,
of 100 maniacs, son of 100 maniacs.
The spawn of all these, essentially all these people, I guess, is the implication. So that's how such a vile person, and that she found a way, gave a little hint to help them defeat him. I was like, all right, shit. I wasn't expecting that. That was good. All right.
The thing is, that's a great backstory where they probably should have left it at that. Like, okay, his mom was a nun. She got locked into the mental asylum on accident and was by these 100 maniacs, and that's Freddie was. That's great. Once they get to 5 and then 6, they start to reveal a little too much more about his background.
Yeah, I was about to say,
those are
feel
the
like
biggest complaints from people about those in those movies is stop revealing so much about Freddie.
Yeah, they didn't reveal anything new in number 4, which I thought was great. I'm like, number 3 gave all the information that you need about him, and we can, if he's in any other movies, you have all the information you need, and it's just whatever he's doing in those movies is what we need to worry about. Not any new reveals. There's nothing new to discover about it. It's, if anything, it's like I liked how in number 4, like you guys said that he was like trying to find a way to branch out from the Elm Street kids and having somebody using this one chick to access other people all the time. That's a clever idea. Because I feel like they could easily
fresh meat.
They could easily try to do something more like ridiculous if they didn't think about it very hard. But it just seemed like they really tried to make threads connect to each other, and got to give him credit on that. It's good. Made it flow nice and good, and it gave her agency to try to do something when she's not asleep. Trying to wake them up. She's not even trying to get people into the dreams. Just like accidentally happening. It seems.
That's how he does it. Like when because he's killed all the kids on Elm Street. That of the people that burned him. He's got rid of them. So now he can't. To keep going, he needed Alice because Alice basically sort of took what's her name's powers a little bit. When she killed her, she kind of gave it to her. So Freddie transferred into her, and so whenever Alice dreams, if she doesn't control her dreams, Freddie can come out and get the people that are sleeping around her and kill them that way. So that was a really clever idea because
I like that.
That's how he gets to the other people. In part 5, there's something that you have to see it to how he manages to come back and what he's using, and it's
we'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
Maybe you can hold off on them till October before because we'll. I know what
that's what I feel like.
I know the people in the chat. If you love hearing us talk about it, that's awesome. But I know you guys want us to also talk other movies, so we'll probably talk more in October. This is true, real quick. Alice from for Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4 and 5, she did actually appear on the TV show MILF Manor.
Yeah, I interviewed her.
Oh, you did? That's cool.
Yeah. I think it's on the channel.
I have to go watch that.
Yeah, but I also liked how that I guess so like she's what was I gonna say? I lost my thought. It's gonna have on it. It's gonna be something about Alice, but I forgot what I was gonna say.
Well, I watched Part 5, and since we're gonna wait to actually talk about it,
you can talk some parts about it if you want to.
I do have the uncut version. It's basically like somebody took the Blu-ray rip and cut in the Laserdisc rip, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So I can talk about that a little bit because I think that's because the rumor going around is that besides the first movie getting the unrated version, we're supposed to get the unrated version of a few other of the Nightmare films, and obviously Part 5 might be one of them, but. That's why I kind of figured what most of these movies, the unrated cuts, were going to be is just basically extensions, because that's all literally like the cut for Part 5 is just seconds, literal seconds cut back into the movie.
It's the on the motorcycle, her boyfriend, and
most of it's on the motorcycle. Yeah,
feeding the stomach to the.
It's literally the feeding the stomach is technically there. It's just they cut out where he cuts the baby doll open for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of dumb. It's like, why is that not? I don't get that, but okay. But yeah, like the shoveling in the stomach is not as prevalent. It is like in the theatrical version, he just kind of goes like this and scoops and then feeds her. In the unrated cut, he's like just digging it in and shit like
yeah. Part 5, after watching Part 5 and after to Rookie's point about the kills and everything, when I was watching Part 5 again, I noticed that with this director, it wasn't so much about the kills, it was more about the set pieces. Like in Part 5,
Part 3 I think also has the least amount of deaths in it, doesn't it? Besides Part 2.
Yeah, I think
so. Yeah, there's a handful of survivors with it, but it made sense why that was the case. So,
but like
that was good.
In Part 5, I think there's Part 5. There's only like 3, I think. But like it's more about the set pieces, where they're at, and what it's like with the upside down stairs, and then the rooms and stuff. Feels like more is focused on the background of the kills than the actual kill. In Part 5, that I was feeling when I was watching it.
Yeah, it probably has 2 of the better deaths in the entire series. That's for sure.
Well, I feel like it's good that they do that then, because with his existence being dream based. I mean, you can't just have generic looking sets for your dreams. Come on, man.
No,
gotta have it be clever and interesting, and have. I mean, I guess that's one of my favorite things I like about Nightmare on Elm Street so far is like the use of like. Anything around can be used to somehow be an element to cause fear in some way in the dream, to play a part. Something coming out of the wall, something coming alive, something weird happening that it's just like, what? Like, especially it's dream shit. Your brain it's all mixy gobbledygook anyway half the time, and so even though it's more controlled with these guys, like it's still that kind of thing. It's still not all straightforward. Exactly, it's weird, which is it's a good mix for fun. It makes it better than just like a serial killer's trying to kill them. It's like, no, there's more at play than that, and that's what this is why Freddy. It seems like the most creative serial killer that I've seen, or like slasher killer I've seen. Again, I'll have to see more to have that be like a true opinion later. But like for so far, like even for a guy who loves Scream, I enjoy like Freddy's effect on people's minds and the setting where he kills them. and stuff. And again, the special effects that go with it look so good. I love it. I didn't think I'm not a huge gore guy or huge special effects guy, but when they're good, it's really satisfying to see it. It's like, that's
like
nice.
What Tom was talking about, like the deaths in part 5 with the motorcycle death and where he's feeding the girl her own stomach death. Them are probably two of the most creative.
Well, I was thinking the comic book death, but yeah,
I didn't really like that. I
like that one. I like that one's kind of imaginative to me.
I mean, it was. I like Super Freddy. I know some people don't, but I just I don't know. And maybe it hit too close to home or something for me. No, you're not wrong. It is a creative death. It is a little more. That is a little more Dream World-esque. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, it fits right in, and you're right. Like all 3 deaths in part 5 are very imaginative.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't watch it yet, Rook, did you?
Not yet, but
no, all right. So we'll talk more about it next week.
Without knowing what happens in part 5 yet, exactly. So would you say there's a different pace, I guess, to each of these in a way? Like the first one is.
Well, you got a different director for each one. That's part of the thing.
Well, I'm saying that's a good thing, actually. That it's not. It doesn't feel repetitive in that kind of way.
3, 4, and 5 really do go together really well as far as a nice little trilogy of sorts. Kind of like how Wrath of Khan, Search for Spock, and Voyage Home do. But yeah.
Well, this is kind of what I was pointing at. So with just seeing, like 1, 2, 3, and 4, there's a lot of different stuff going on with each of them. And with 3 and 4, 3 is like you're in this one location and the kids are not allowed to leave it. So they're stuck here this whole time. And you have the one person who's had experience with this that can help them. And it's about them trying to learn how they can even like fight back against this before they're all picked off and they gotta work together. Like that's like the type of tone. They're prepping themselves to fight this one guy. But in number 4, I feel like it's almost like more of a chase pace because like he picks off those first 2, he gets to the last one, and then like she's witnessing him hop into killing all these other people, and she's just trying to like catch up, trying to stay awake, trying to not have this be a problem, and try to get herself mentally ready to fight him in some way. And it comes off like a chase in a way to me. It's what it felt like with how he's hopping. He's like, oh, thanks for the next door. Boom, going to the next one. Up later, your shift's over, and then like goes into the next. I like that kind of flow. And then how he even like tricks her into thinking she's awake, but not even to bug her, just to keep her out of the way while he's trying to get the one girl that's turning into a cockroach and whatever. Like that was like I like that kind of stuff. But my point is it's a different pace than in number 3, like the way that it's paced, and different pace than it is in number 1 and 2 in a way. Like I like they all don't feel like they're running at the same exact pace to me watching these.
The later got in the 80s, it was much more like the MTV generation, so kind of started gearing a little bit towards all that as well. But real quick, I wanted to say thank you, Six, very much for the $20 super chat. It says happy channelversary. I appreciate it. Thank you so very much, Six. I do appreciate that. What can I give you real quick? Let me give you something real quick. You know what? We haven't seen it in a while, but here you go, Six. Thank you.
Talk about buttered sausage. Talk about buttered sausage, where it comes from, what it does. Why is it doing what it's doing? Get it out of my face. What about buttered sausage?
That's not your jam. It's not your thing. You don't like it?
It's not my jam. I don't buy jam. I buy honey, and I kiss it on the lips.
The abuse is loose. Thank you, Six. I appreciate it. No, but I will say that the one thing I do like about 4 and 5 is the fact that, like, because once we know that he's killed all the kids on Elm Street that knew about him, that knew that their family did this to him. So when he gets into Alice and he's using Alice through her dreams to kill the other people, it's time has moved on. So those kids, the new kids on Elm Street, they've heard of Freddy. Oh, it's Freddy Krueger, local town legend. Yeah, whatever, it happened in the past. So she has a hard time convincing them people that no, he's real. This is what he's done, and this is what he's still doing. Please listen to me, because by then nobody else cares anymore. They know him, but he's not You know, he's not threatening them. Their parents didn't burn him alive, so they don't have that legend.
It is kind of one of those, you have to be there. Like there could be there's wars going on right now across the sea. It's like it's over there. Like it's not here. Why they're not going to care as much. It's not happening to them in their dreams. And why would they care? It's not happening to them. It's not their problem essentially.
So I knew Tom called it. I knew you was gonna like 4 of them more than 3. I really thought you would like 3 a lot, which you did.
I do like 3 a lot.
I like 3 is like one of my all-time favorites. No, but you're right. It does progress. It does progress well. See, with 5, there's 5 was one of those cobbled together as well too. It's multiple scripts. Maybe reveals too much of the backstory. Maybe tries a little too much with a certain message of well, not a message, because I actually liked the message that it was giving about.
Well, and I think the timing of it was kind of horrible because it was an idea they were kind of messing around with since like before the 4th film.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point we were having this epidemic in America of teen pregnancies.
Mm-hmm.
So I really think it just didn't play well because of that more so than anything. I mean, the movie is not as bad as its reputation.
It's not.
Let's be real. I mean, it has a reputation that it does not deserve. Because Nightmare on Elm Street, if you take out part 2, and 2 works on its own as like this own kind of like thing.
It's kind of like Halloween 3.
Sort of, but not as obviously disconnected. But yes.
Yeah.
And in that respect, it's kind of like what I'm getting at is like Nightmare on Elm Street is probably one of the most consistent and best franchise. I mean, it's my personal favorite franchise, but I mean, I would say that objectively, it is probably the best horror franchise per sequel, right? Because even if you count part 2 and 5 and Freddy's Dead as the low points, as some people do, and I don't even really count all of those for various reasons that low.
Mm-hmm.
I just, in comparison to the other films, yeah. But as far as,
part 2 still has a lot of quality to it. It just feels weird as
it's not as bad as some of the worst Halloween sequels or some of the worst Friday the 13th sequels is my opinion.
Yeah.
Right, just as an example, let alone some of the worst, some of the other franchises which have some, you're lucky if you have 1 or 2 good films compared to the 10 bad ones that are in a franchise. But,
yeah. And which, so after watching part 6, and I try not to say too much here for Rug, I could get behind that the kid with the amnesia that looks like Runner is whose child. But at the same time of thinking that and thinking, yeah, well, that's probably how he's there, what he's doing. But it makes me worry, like, what happened to her, because I don't believe she would leave her child alone on Elm Street all by himself. So, which means at some point in time, Freddy got her. So that's kind of upsetting to think about if you go by the theory of who that kid is. Oh, Rick has no idea what we're talking about, but because it would spoil.
Yeah, I mean, it was always kind of weird because I mean, age-wise, it doesn't still add up,
right?
But
you'd think you'd have to have some link to her because of the way Freddy,
If not, I just always looked at it as Freddy's Dead, just kind of. That's why they set it 10 years into the future, is this completely disconnected from the other films. I would imagine that Alice would have just left.
Yeah.
Eventually she would have got the fuck up out of Springwood.
Just get out of there.
Yeah. And I mean, really, you put some distance between her and Freddy. We know that his power's fairly limited because I mean, that's kind of the gimmick is, but I mean, really, then I guess you have to ask the question, does he follow her? Does he stay with her? Or does he stay there? That's so I guess you just kind of got to take it as, because the thing is with Freddy's Dead was it was another one of those concepts where they had a few other scripts that were going on at the same time, and then Rachel Talalay came back into the fold. I mean, she never really left the company, but she had gone over to produce Crybaby with John Waters over at Universal. So her husband produced part 5, and they were kind of working on a few other ideas. Even Peter Jackson had the Dream Lover script that I really want to get my hands on because it sounds really interesting. But yeah, like so as soon as Rachel came back, like all the other scripts went out the window because it was like I can't remember where she got the concept from, but her and whoever it was else who made these decisions at the time, they were really turned on by Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
So that's why Freddy's Dead has a very huge Twin Peaks.
It does.
Influence to it, and you can really feel it. It has that quirky, off kilter, and I don't hate it. I don't hate it
either.
I get why some people don't. I have slight issues with the more that it adds to his backstory, but I'm not. Meh. Could be worse. You know, it's probably one of the. It's one of those things where it's just kind of like, yeah, okay, it could be true. I guess it fits to a point.
Yeah.
But I mean, the only thing is I don't like how they kind of twisted in the movie that's kind of the because it doesn't make sense.
No.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I get you. That's my biggest problems with too is I mean I like
unless Freddy's just lying. I think that's part of it too. Is Freddy's just lying to her? So
yeah. So I
because he acts like his motivation was her when I think obviously that's not true.
It'd have to be, and you know, and
that could be a way to scare her. Like saying, you know, you're like a way to blame her. Like, you know,
you have no idea who we're talking about.
I don't know. I'm just with what vaguely things you're saying. I'm trying.
You kind of can figure it out. It's not like it's rocket science, and it's not like it's hidden throughout the film. You find out about halfway through.
Yeah.
Not even, and you early on, like the whole okay, yeah, it's kind of predicated on like this whole idea that you know somebody may have a connection with Freddy that we haven't met before, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And but the thing is, like, what can be said about that movie for everybody's faults is it contains Robert Englund's favorite kill as Freddy, his favorite kill, and it's not even it's not even like it's the most creative or most coolest kill ever, but it's his favorite kill because I don't know how to say it. It's his favorite kill because he says it shows that Freddy doesn't care who or what you are, he will kill you. That's his, and you know, he doesn't care if you're a crippled or if you have problems like this or if you're this or that or whatever. He's going to kill you.
I liked in part 4. I liked the karate guy that he was fighting, the boyfriend. I was like, you just gotta fight, and he's like, you know,
but he's got one of the worst
he's like,
deaths.
A true fighter should. The death was dumb. I'll admit the death.
And that's because they didn't know what to do, and that was thrown together at the last minute. That's not how he was.
I was enjoying the he was able to like fight back an invisible Freddy, and I was like, okay, so what's gonna happen next? And the claw just like shoots at his stomach.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Like
everybody misquotes that. It's not killer graphics, it's great graphics, but it should be killer graphics.
Yeah. But no, you're right. That was one of the lamest kills in the series. I think I was like, because I was enjoying the whole like dream thing. He's like using his karate stuff. You know, he's like, oh, you know, true master could fight without their eyes. Like what? He's like taunting his like dedication to this craft of fighting, and like your physical thing's not going to matter here. But he kind of uses that. Okay, he fights back a bit, and then the claw just flings up and kills him. I feel like they could have done far more clever, funny things if they wanted to with Freddy messing with him with his fighting shit. But yeah, you know, this is one of those ones that was a missed thing. Like you said, a lot of rewrites and a lot of script issues. So
yeah, I mean, but 4's still pretty solid. 1, 3, and 7, to be honest. 1, 3, and 7 are my favorites of the franchise. But I'm with Tom. It's probably one of my all-time favorite horror franchises. I think Freddy was consistent, and I know some people get like with his quips and funniness and everything. But like I said, that's scary. This guy invades your dreams and he's cracking jokes. He kills you.
Let me explain it. Based on most things I like, I shouldn't necessarily like him. But I do. It's one of those things where he's his motivation isn't like he has no real motivation. He just loves killing. He loves killing kids because they're easier to scare. And it's like, I don't know. So that's what he wants to do. He somehow has a way where he can do stuff with dreams and kill people. And so he's trying to master that to the best degree to kill people all the time. And it's like if there's any sense of mercy, it's to use you as a tool to kill other people until he kills you or something. Like, it seems to be what he would do. That'd be his greatest sense of what you could call mercy for the moment, but not really. Especially when all the people he kills ends up becoming attached to his body as a soul. That was another thing I liked when she like showed the reflection of him and how it like has him flying by all these souls that he's collected. That was just like a good visual, I think, of like showing all the people he's caused, that he's done this to, he's fucked with. Like, I don't know. I like that sort of thing.
No, I
turning on him, and then how that leads into them all crawling out of him. That looked so like from The Thing, kind of invoking to me.
Well, like I said, a lot of the same people that worked on The Thing worked on these movies. So
yeah, and part of me likes how Alice kind of becomes Buffy the Vampire Slayer for a few minutes. I don't know. I like that. Okay, that's cool. No, I'm loving his quips, Freddy's quips. It's like he's like opposite Spider-Man. You know, he's evil Spider-Man in that way or something. Instead of, you know, like, hey, Goblin, I got you, you stupid head. Like, Freddy's like, where you going, bitch? You want to lick my face? You want to suck face?
We heard you say, would you like the face? Like, that's the Welcome to Primetime, which you mentioned earlier. That's like one of the most famous line from any Freddy movie is when he does that, and he says that.
For some reason, he says it so satisfyingly. I enjoy it. Welcome to primetime, bitch.
He just wanted to be a TV star.
It's just like, okay, nice. I like it. I like it. Again, I love the creativity of the kills and stuff, and just some of the scenes and sets they have. Even again at the movie theater, and then she gets sucked into the movie. Like that just sequence alone, I enjoyed that. And sees like was it the souls of her friends or something looking at her from the theater? I wasn't sure who was there. I was
like back at all the people that he's killed in that movie
so far. Okay, okay, because it doesn't show them for that long. So like I blinked. I was like, did I miss that? Okay, cool.
When she sits down, they look vaguely like them, and I think it's different actors. But then when she gets sucked into the thing and she's hanging there, and it shows back into it, you can see that it is them.
Okay, yeah, it was. Okay, not sure.
Yeah,
good.
Like you see all of them there.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, as somebody who, you guys remember how much I was cooming over Scream. I think so far, just with these movies anyway, I think I like Nightmare on Elm Street more than Scream.
What?
Like, even though I can sing the praises of the Scream franchise all day, but there is a lot more stuff in here that I enjoy seeing, like, especially even just visually. Like,
it's all
really
Wes
good.
Craven, man. Even though
I feel like this invokes fear more than Scream does, like the way that he operates. That is like sleep is a function humans need. Like you cannot live without sleeping. As much as you attempt to not sleep, eventually you will fall asleep. That is a fact. Or if you are somehow able to not, then you'll probably die or whatever. Like, so that, I don't know, that's just really good. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's good. Well, Wes Craven only did the first movie, and then he gave an outline for the third movie.
Well, props to the directors for like continuing it well enough and not like totally fudging it up like a lot of other directors do.
And then Wes Craven comes back and writes and directs New Nightmare. And like I said, which I'm really interested to hear your thoughts on that one, because that is his first attempt at a Scream-like movie. So,
right,
yeah. The Nightmare, which some people like. I think most people have come to like it. I know some people in the chat don't. As a couple have said they didn't like it, but I think most people have actually come to like New Nightmare. It's one of my favorites. Next, I personally, like I said, 1, 3, and New Nightmare, my 3 favorites of the Freddy movies. But I love all the Freddy movies. I think Alice is one of the greatest heroes of the Freddy franchise, next to Nancy. So you have a debate whether Nancy or Alice is the best. Between the final girls of the Freddy movies.
I feel like they make it built up that she they even say it toward the beginning. Like, how do you know so much about dreams? And she was studying that herself. She was interested in that topic. And I like how throughout the movies, there's like some small background things that are said by other people discussing dreams that I don't think are meant to be a fact for you to think of while you watch the movie, but they are like a nugget to chew on while you're watching it. If you're, because like they say at one point, like, there's two different like dream gates, like a negative and a positive. And, some people they're talking about philosophers that have a theory on dreams. They're not stating it like it's a fact. They're stating it like, oh, they believe this and these guys maybe this or that. And like, I feel like you're not supposed to take that as a fact either. It's just something to keep in mind. Maybe what they do will be fleshed out and that'll make more sense, or it won't, whatever. I like that kind of nugget. It's not directly about dreams. They're talking about philosophers and is about them and their opinion on dreams. So I like that. And another small element of like praise that I want to give it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, there you go. And then, now like you've seen Freddy versus Jason, probably not in a while, but now you see that where part 3 connects a lot to Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah. Well,
Because
actually, I don't remember. I just remember he's like, I got to get people to be scared of me or scared again. So I'm going to like make this guy trip out and kill people and they'll think it's me and then I'll come back. I don't remember much of Freddy versus Jason, honestly.
Well, it's like it's the same insane asylum where the kids are in part 3 and they're using whatever that drug is. I can't remember the name of it. Hypnocil. Yes, to keep them from dreaming. So
right.
Yeah.
Which that was an interesting element too, to like have a pill that makes you not dream. I never heard.
Well, that's an element, including the place itself, the asylum in part 3, all carries into Freddy versus Jason. That's the pill she's taking.
You're right. That's the
experimental drug that she wants to use, which is funny because they end up firing her for using it in the first place, and now they feed it to the kids like candy. By the time you get to Freddy versus Jason,
okay, that's why. Okay, that's what they're doing. Okay, I remember that part now.
To the point where that one kid, if he don't get it, he's freaking out like a drug because he knows he'll dream of Freddy.
Yeah, he's afraid he'll fall asleep and dream of Freddy. Right, and that's what happened. I got you. Yeah, I got to rewatch that one too. I got to rewatch Freddy vs. Jason. It's been a while. But no, like again, so the concept. So like in number 3, when they say like, well, you can't give them hypnosis. Like they need to. You can't take away their dreams. Like was the implication. So like that's the thing with dreams. There's so much study on dreams, but there's a lot of things that you just really don't know. Like some people really don't just dream. Some people might have dreams, but they don't remember any of their dreams. And it's questioned like, whether or not survival is dependent on dreaming when you sleep. I don't know. I like that kind of stuff because it's the kind of thing you can't necessarily get a full answer as to why things are happening, but you got to try to figure it out. Like I don't know. It's kind of like space.
Yeah.
You can study and learn new things, but how much do you really know? Like, how much do you really know about it? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like it. So, but yeah, we're going to be closing it down here in a minute. But I will say that I'm a huge fan of the Freddy movies, and I know we've talked about them for 2 weeks in a row. I know we've talked about it 2 weeks in a row, so I hope you guys enjoyed them. We'll probably talk a little bit more about them in October, especially, since it's that time of year and everything. So I got to figure this out real quick.
No big deal. If not, I can just share the link in the chat too.
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing Mead Radio after the show. If you guys want to park up over there, there's the link. I just dropped it. But yeah, no, I'm glad you're enjoying the Nightmare on Elm Street films. They're my favorite franchise, like I said. I'm sure we'll talk about them some more here in the coming weeks as well. But hopefully I'll get some other things in to talk about as the week goes by here.
Yeah. I mean, we just got a bug in our butts to watch them. So yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed it.
I'm enjoying this, and chat should be loving me for not hating these movies. So you're welcome. They probably wanted me to hate them so they can go, he hates these two. Which save that for Friday the 13th. We'll see.
Yeah. So yeah, well, what's funny? What's funny is next month, September, it's got a Friday the 13th. So maybe consider watching some of them.
Do we?
Yes, next September.
I can try to start watching some of them. Sure.
September 13th is Friday the 13th. So
Nice.
there you have it. But any final words as we close it down?
Nope.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys for hanging with us, and once again, thank you so very much, Six, for the $20 super chat, and thank you to everybody.
Super cat.
I know super cat. The super chat, but thank you to everybody out in the chat and everybody at home watching us and hanging with us. Thank you, Rook. Thank you, Tom, as always. And you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
How you doing? Bitches leave.